Hello, I'm Jeremy, and today I'm not gonna. I don't think I'm gonna do kind of a normal video that I normally do. I'm just gonna. I've been thinking about now that I've kind of got my three big things that have kind of been taken care of. I've got a little, I guess, cleanup to do with that stuff, but for the most part, it's done. I'm on the downhill with that stuff. Good. So how do I move forward? Because I've been doing this for not very long, a couple of months, and I just kind of spit videos on out there just to get used to it, get used to how OBS works, thumbnails a little bit, I messed with the sound, and I think it's echoey, but it's more towards my mic. It's not expensive, it's cheap. I don't know how much time I want to waste with that, because the bottom line is you can hear me, and that's all that really matters. Whenever I start doing better with all of this stuff, yeah, I'll be more concerned about that. But right now, the payoff for it, I mean, what am I talking about? I just have a handful of people who are watching and listening, so why beat my head over the desk trying to fix that? You know, if I had several hundred, it's like, well, yeah, that would pay off better benefits, but it's just too early to care. I've got bigger things that would pay off better to worry about than just that. Again, as always, and this will be one of the things that I work on, is my intro and my outro. Right now, it's just real simple, and it's right now. If you like what I'm doing, like, subscribe, thumbs up, Patreon, subscribe, star, blah blah blah, because you have to do it. And it's, some people, I think maybe younger people, this would fit into that category, is that there are new people who watch all the time, that they just kind of watch random stuff, just to see what's going on. They're bored, and you have to remind them. Don't take it as that being something that's being said to the people who are regulars. You always need to extend that invitation to others. Hey, you're welcome to continue to watch and to participate, to leave comments, to join my website that I have off to the side or whatever. So right now I wanted to hash over planning. I watched a video actually with Jordan Peterson. His video is titled 10 Global Trends Every Smart Person Should Know. It's a book. That's the title of the book, and it's also the title of his video. And it's written by Marin Tupy, Marian Tupy, Tupy. It's from his podcast series, Season 4, Episode 18. It's roughly 2 hours long, an hour and 50 minutes, 21 seconds. It's a really good video. The guy who wrote the book, he's from the communist bloc. He was from Czechoslovakia. His parents became doctors. They moved to South Africa. And he moved around to some other places. I think right now he's in the U.S. Because he's working at Stanford. Is that where he said he was? But it was in America. Whenever he said where he was working, it's like, yeah, it's America. I didn't care too much about that because, that's kind of nice little fluff stuff, but it's like, get on with it. Well, I guess it's kind of important, to kind of know their credentials. In this book, he wanted to talk about the lies that are going on with the media, politics. People really focus on negative things, and it makes sense. I've heard this conversation before, that people focus on the bad things because it's the bad things that kill you. It's the bad things you have to watch out for that can hurt you, get you sick, all that kind of stuff. So of course you kind of want to have some awareness of what's going on. You don't want to be oblivious to it. And he wrote this book, and it's all about all this information that people don't know. And so these are global trends, not just what's going on in your own little piece of the world, in your city, state, or country, or whatever. and that people are unaware of how people are coming out of poverty. The world is cleaning up. Talked about how there are more trees in America than ever before, and part of that is because we're not burning them, and we have other building materials. We're just not reliant on wood to do everything. He talked about how at one time in Britain that almost all the trees were gone because you used it for everything. If you wanted to cook, well, you had to burn a fire. If you wanted to stay warm, you had to have wood and burn a fire. You wanted to build any building or house or shed or fence, well, you had to cut wood and build that structure. You wanted to have a horse and buggy or a cart or whatever, well, you had to cut down those trees and then build it out of wood. And what's happened is that as we've become smarter and we've become more educated, we've come up with new ideas. We've discovered new ways of doing things. One of the examples he gave was wax, I think candle wax. Something was made from whales. And so we were slaughtering whales like crazy to be able to get this one material so we could make, I think it was candles. And anyways, they found out that, no, actually there's this other thing that we could use. We don't have to go out into the middle of the ocean, hunt down these big creatures just to get this. This is actually a lot closer. It's a lot easier. The costs go down a huge amount, and it made it more accessible for many more people whenever all that happened. And that's the trend. And they talked about how Africa and these third world nations all around the world, I mean, I guess less so in Europe and in North America, but with the rest of the world, with these third world nations, they're coming up out of poverty and extremely quickly, and they're getting electricity. And that whenever people reach a certain level of wealth, which isn't very much, but whenever it happens, whenever they get that to that threshold, they start worrying about, where am I living? This place looks like trash. You know, I'm not worried about food. I've got a job. Because I have the job, I can go and get something to eat. Now I've got some free time. And it's like, you know what? I don't like living like this. And they start cleaning stuff up at their homes, in their community, in their country, the environment. And what also happens is that whenever people are well taken care of, you know, whenever they at least have kind of these basic things, which we have no idea what those basic things are over here in first world countries because our standards are so high, we would still say that they're living in poverty. And to an extent they are, but it's not like it's all the same. There's poverty where it's like, I don't know if I'm going to live until tomorrow because I'm just so dirt broke, and everyone else around me is dirt broke too, and nobody has any food or nothing. We're just fighting like mad just to make it to the next day. Versus, you know, I can't afford an Xbox or PlayStation or whatever. Those are not the same two levels of poverty. But one is from an example of a third world nation, and one is an example of a first world nation poverty problems. Oh my goodness, they can't play games. They don't have a TV. Man, these third world nations wish that's what their poverty was like. But how many people do they have over there? I mean, you're talking about millions, billions of people who are living in this horrible low level of poverty. How many of these people are above average in intelligence, that they are smart? How many are super geniuses? And we're missing out on what it is that they can contribute to humankind for the betterment of the world, because they can't even get past being fed. And the wrong answer is sending them food. Wrong. It's that Chinese proverb where, yeah, you give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day, but if you teach him how to fish, then he can eat for a lifetime. It's the same thing whenever you go out there and you see these homeless people out there on the streets. It's like giving them money doesn't do anything. They have to learn how to earn it themselves. And if they're truly not capable of doing it, well, then they should be taken off the streets and they should be cared for. And no, that does not mean throwing them in prison. I mean in a way that's kind of taking care of them, but talk about setting your standards low for that stuff. But he's talking about how there's all of this misinformation and lies just going on, and so he's done this book, and he also has a website. It's www.humanprogress.org, and this is to let everyone know about what's going on with the rest of the world, and things are looking so great, and that things are just backwards clown world all the time. He has said that because people have been getting out of poverty, that they've been working and being productive, that brings up the GDP, of course. And it's like, yes, we want the entire global GDP to go up. We don't want people to do without. We want people to have food, clothing, and shelter, and so on and so forth. We want them to have a good education, good medical. We want them to have access to information. We want all of this for everyone. I don't want to be babysitting the world. First world nations should not be babysitting third world nations or second world nations. And it's stupid. I don't understand why everybody's so dumb with this. It's like, oh, well, we just need to give these poor people. It's like, why? These first world nations, who gave to them? Where was their same kind of thing going on with them, where there was someone else or some other nation that was strong and developed or whatever, and they gave to them and said, well, you're not going to be able to make it on your own unless if I give you all these things. It didn't happen. We just worked for it ourselves. So why can't they do the same thing? It's because they can. They absolutely can. The problem is that there are these dictators and these people who are in power who have no idea what they're talking about. They want to keep doing the same things over and over and over again. And this Marian Tupy talks about how he looked at countries that somehow really developed and others that didn't. And he looked at several countries and the trends, and one of them is just hands down, flat out, is that capitalism and leaving people alone and getting out of their business and letting them do what they want. That's where it happens all the time, everywhere. And then the opposite, where it's some kind of dictatorship, it's socialism or whatever, the opposite happens. And they just crumble and they go to dirt, and he points out to all these different examples around the world. And from my understanding, as of right now, from filming this video as of today, that is exactly the way that I understand it. I could be wrong. I strongly believe in it, though. I have not seen any convincing arguments at all. Whenever I watch any of this stuff and they're talking back and forth about it, it's always one person is just spouting off a bunch of platitudes. These phrases where they sound really nice and pretty and helpful and kind or whatever, and nothing to back it up. And then the other side is that, no, actually, this is what the research and the numbers and everything they're pointing to. And they have something to back it up. One of them is just a bunch of feelings and emotions, and the other one is like, no. Whenever we look at what's actually happening, that's not what's going on. You can say all the nice things that you want to about socialism, but that's not what we're seeing at all in any socialist country at all. And that whenever you look at capitalist ran nations, holy crap, it's like night and day. It's not even close. I want people to have the best, most accurate information that we currently have at their fingertips. He also talks about how they go back and forth with it. And Jordan Peterson, one of the things that some of his critics or followers or whatever have talked about, well, you can say some of these things because you're in a position where you have safety and security because you've got tenure, or you were able to work 20 years at a job, get retirement, and now you're getting a little bit of money for the rest of your life or whatever. And that's not the way that it is anymore. Today, you don't get to work a job for 20 years anymore. That today it's no, you're going to work this job for a little while and then you're going to have to move on to another job. That there aren't these big companies anymore where you can work your way up the ladder. It's a bunch of smaller companies, and we saw this with COVID, where COVID just, because of these stupid, feckless politicians, just decided to close everything down. Made absolutely no sense. It's like, it doesn't matter if you're sick or not, if you're dead. If you're sick, if you can't afford to go to the hospital because you have no money because you don't have a job. If you can't have a place to live because you don't have money to pay for your place because you don't have a job. If you can't go get food because you don't have money because you don't have a job. If you can't do any of this stuff because you don't have money because you don't have a job. Made absolutely no sense. It's all 100% a scam. It's like, if you're worried about it, go ahead. Do whatever you want to. Wrap yourself up in a bubble. I do not care. Be bubble boy. I don't care. If that's the way that you want to do it, fine. You can get out of my face with that crap. Stop telling me what to do. I'm not wearing a damn mask or any of that crap. I will not live a life of fear. You want to? Fine. Be a feckless coward. I don't care. Whatever. And there are some people where they might actually have to do that, but we're not all going to do it. Getting off on it. Anyways, watching all that, which I saw yesterday on Sunday, it was just more fuel for me to go out and to do this. But I was thinking, you know what, let's kind of strategize this out a little bit. What do I really need to do? Well, I know what the end goal is. And so the end, it's having a website with the best, most accurate info at that moment. And that's, I put it like that because it's always going to change. We're going to learn new things. New inventions are going to come, new techniques on how we do things. We're going to learn about what companies are really doing in the government, and it's going to make us change the way that we do things. Everything changes. Everything changes. So it's just the most accurate information that we currently have at that moment. I know that's what I want the end to be. I have a very clear envision of what the end is. And for all these other steps, for step 5, for step 4, and 3. 2 and 1. Not 1 is definitely questionable. 2 a little bit, but 1's the big question right there. How do I get over that hump? How do I get to that first bump in the road? So it's like, well, what do I need in order to get to the end? I have to have people, because part of the website is, it's going to be automatic. I'm not going to be doing it myself, and so people have to be involved with it. Automatically filled in by people. I need that. I need money to run the site/business. Those are the 2 biggest things that I need. Well, money's pretty open. You can get money a lot of different ways. But people, I can't just take in any people. So, for example, kids and senior citizens don't do me much good, and it's because kids are too stupid, and senior citizens they tend to care a little less. This is where Jordan Peterson's thing comes in about having meaning. Now that I'm in my 40s, and I've had several people die, such as my mother, and that is someone who's there with you from the very beginning, and whenever you have a good relationship with your parents, with either of them, and you see one of them die, that leads to questions. Questions such as, well, why bother doing anything? Because everything's that I do is going to be forgotten. So tell me about, for example, just an name specifically a Roman citizen. Tell me in detail about a specific Roman citizen. Anyone, at any time, whenever Rome was around. Yeah, I can't do it either. I don't know any of them. Let's bring it a little closer to home. Tell me about one of your great-great-grandparents. What was their name? Where did they live? Where were they born? Did they get married? Probably so. Who to? How many children did they have? How many siblings did they have? Just your great-great-grandparent. Any one of them. What did they do for a living? Just tell me about them. I can't. And chances are, neither can you. This is your own family member. I mean, can you tell me about my great-great-grandparents? Any one of them. Well, of course, you're not going to know about somebody else's. If you're going to know somebody, chances are it's going to be your family member, your great-great-grandparent, great-great-grandfather or grandmother. If you don't even know your own family, so then what happens whenever you're in that position? Where all those years have passed after your death, and now there's your great-great-grandchild. Are they going to remember you? No, they're not. Nobody's done that. I mean, I'm sure there's a few people scattered here and there, but for all in all, no, nobody. And so why get up in the morning? Why do all these things? Well, it helps whenever you have something to get up in the morning and to go do something through the day. I think that helps out a lot. Because if you don't and you're just sitting around and sulking and worrying about the meaning to your life, I think that's going to drag you down. And it's there. It's obvious because people die all the time. I think something that really helps with that is whenever, you're busy. You're not sitting around sulking and thinking about, man, what am I going to do with myself? It's just, life is pointless. I'm not going to be remembered, and everything that I create is going to be destroyed in one way or another. So why even bother? And whenever my mom died, that's something that I felt that hit pretty hard. Kind of woke me up, I guess you could say. It's like, because it's not like I didn't have any kind of concept of death, but this gave me a stronger look at mortality. And it's disgusting. I don't like it at all. And I can now see an end at that tunnel, and it's not a light. It's darkness. And I think this is one of the things that makes religion so powerful, is because it puts that light back. Maybe it's there, maybe it's not. But there's hope that maybe there is. Well, that's better than nothing, right? To think that your consciousness is just going to blink out of existence. And after a certain amount of time, whatever that may be, you will be forgotten. Even all of these people in a million years, people are not going to know about Julius Caesar. We take him for granted. It's like, no, he's really powerful. He's really influential. I mean, people know of Julius Caesar. Are they still going to know him in a million years? I mean, right now, with the calendar, we've only gotten over 2,000 years. What happens in a million? It's like, who's going to remember Julius Caesar? You know how many other people are going to come between now and reaching that million marker point right there, Julius Caesar did the right things to become memorable for several thousand years. You think he's going to make it tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of years? I don't think so, not at all. I don't think he'll be wiped from history. I think the information will still be there, but it's not going to be taught in school, for example. If for some reason, if so, it will be just kind of a footnote because it'll be one of the earliest recorded things in history, something along those lines. But it'll be less than what we know today, which is next to nothing. I mean, I remember a little bit about him from school, and I just don't remember anything today other than Et tu, Brute, and it's just like, who cares? It serves me no practical purpose today. And so because I want to help people with also finding meaning in their life, and because we don't have companies that you can go and work for 20 years and we have all this stuff, I want to give people information for this too. I want them to be able to easily as possible, be able to have all of these options, to have as many jobs as possible, that you've got choices. You don't need to beat yourself up. It's like, here's a whole slew of things. What would you like to do? Well, here's how you can do it. You know, and that's the way that we're really going to make things better for ourselves, is that we want, as I've said before in other videos, we want to have a whole bunch of jobs and just a few people who are looking for jobs. We want everyone employed. So then that way, whenever people are looking for help to expanding their business, they're offering as much as they can. Because if you already have a business and you're doing well, great. I don't need to help you out any. I want to help the people who are without. And that doesn't mean a minimum wage. That's counterintuitive. 100%. I've not seen anything that states the other. I hear straw man arguments all the time. I saw this one clip of Ben Shapiro just fairly recently talking to someone about this minimum wage. And Ben was just cleaning this guy all over the place with what he was saying. And the best thing this guy had to say to retort were things like, well, we know that whenever we raise minimum wage, businesses become more effective at their jobs. And it's like, straw man, are we talking about businesses, or are we talking about raising minimum wage so that people can have what is that they say? A good minimum living standard or basic living or something like that? It's like, which is it? Are we talking about the businesses, or are we talking about the employees? Those are not the same groups of people that you're talking about. One of them's better well off than the other. And then those who don't have a job in the first place, it doesn't help them at all. Does absolutely nothing besides make things worse, because it's now made everything more expensive. So no, it's ridiculous. And I've seen this. I'm old enough where it was, whenever I was young, there were still lots of people, lots of businesses out there where you could work a job for 20 years and you could retire and get the gold watch and whatever. But now today, it's like, nope, I see that just deteriorating all the time. It's like, nope. Especially with younger kids, it's like, where am I supposed to do that at? Anyways, so people are a little different. Children do not do me good. Senior citizens do not do me good. I mean, it's fine. They're okay, and they'll be involved with it. Everybody's going to have to be involved with it at some point in time. But so what this is demographics. It's how much money do they make, age, what region in the world do they live in, or the country, or whatever. So I want to focus in on the ones that are going to best suit me, and what's going to best suit me is the website. and aid in the building of the site. So I don't want to just randomly take people of all incomes. I need people that have disposable incomes. I don't need people who are just squeaking by and they don't have money to do anything, even though they may really agree with what I'm doing. There will be a time whenever it's going to be for free because I just need more people. But to start off, it's like, how am I supposed to grow if my audience is just barely squeaking by? It's like, no, they need to have disposable incomes. And disposable incomes come really strongly from kids. And it's because they don't work, they get their money from their parents, and they have no responsibilities at all. So they don't have any mortgages or rent that needs to be paid. They're not paying for utilities or food. So all the money that they get from wherever, they can pretty much blow on whatever they want to. And that's why you see so many companies and people focus in on kids, and it's because they do not give a damn at all. They just go ask their parents for money. They have an allowance. If they do have a job, they can just kind of, for the most part, a lot of them just do whatever they want to with it. And that's why they can focus on clothes and how they look and all this stuff because they don't have anything else. But kids are not knowledgeable enough to be able to help out. They would only do the money side of things. Their knowledge and their expertise is nil. And so that does limit us down to adults. And I'm going to say young adults because older adults are going to have children. And so some of their disposable income would go towards their kids. Oh yeah, here's some money for a video game. Oh, you need some new shoes. You want to go to the movies with your friends or whatever. It would be disposable income if they were single. Young adults and single adults. No, because you can be a single mother or a single father. And if both the mother, if there's two people, if there's a married couple and they don't have kids, they would have a huge amount of money, especially if they're both working. They would have plenty of disposable income. So parentless adults. So that would mean single or couples. Yeah. And then the more that I can specify, then the better I can kind of focus in on it. So how else? So we have kind of an age range, and so what would that age range be? We're gonna say, yeah, I guess we can go ahead and do 18. We can keep it kind of young for right now. To about 34. Let's do 28, because that's whenever guys are going to start getting married, kind of in that range, and women are really scared about getting married and having children, because whenever you get into your 30s, in their 30s is whenever they become automatically high risk for pregnancy. So that's all kind of a big deal. But also single adults, or no, let's see. Adults who have children and grandchildren, but the children have moved out of the house and they've started a family of their own. There just comes a point in time where, as long as you've been productive and you've been managing your things well, that you get older, and even if you have children and grandchildren, you've got your house furnished, you've got all the appliances, electronics, furniture, all that stuff, and it's paid for. You've been able to pay off your student loans and credit cards and hopefully a house payment, and so you just have disposable income just because you've provided for yourself, your family, whatever. So the other age group could be older. And we can go from 38 to about 60. How about that? And you could say older, but one of the things that I've noticed is as you get older, man, my energy levels have dropped like a rock. This sucks. I can't go out and just run like a madman whenever I do a 6-mile run anymore. So, ugh. I can still do it. It takes me a while to kind of get into the groove a little bit. I have to go like a mile, and it's kind of like I'm okay. But it's like before, it's like, no, it's just good to go right out the door. And I get injured really easily with stuff, and it takes forever, it seems like, to recover. It sucks. So yeah, so that kind of fits it with disposable income. What else can we do? We can talk about, well, men or women? Because that would help. I mean, that's half the population men, half the population women. So if I could knock out half of it so I could focus in better, that would help by leaps and bounds. Just here at the beginning. This is something that everybody's going to be able to take advantage of and everybody will really enjoy. But for right now, to get past this hump, because I can't do everything, I'm just one person. Well, what are we talking about? We're talking about news, political issues. We'll just say the government in general. Businesses. Just information. Who do you think that's all going to be geared towards more? Men or women? I think that's pretty straightforward. Now, if I'd put in like clothes, makeup, children, that would be women. So this is going to be men. For now. Because again, I mean, women, children, seniors, all that. But to start off with, for one person to do this work, it's like this is a ton of work to do just in and of itself. So, men, get off that. Gonna throw disposable incomes up there because I need help. Probably spelling disposable wrong. That looks wrong. I used to care about something whenever I was younger, but today computers, they just do autocorrect for you all the time. So I've let it slide. Not that I was ever great in the first place, but if I look at it for a moment, I can tell that, yeah, that's wrong. I may not know how it is supposed to be the correct way of spelling it, but I am cognitive enough to absolutely be able to say, yeah, that's wrong. So it's kind of weird that this doesn't have an automatic correction for spelling. So who could these? Where would these people be? Where would these guys be? Oh, first world nations. And those would be the US, Canada, Australia, Germany, France, Japan, South Africa. No, I want to. No, I mean maybe. I get. Screw it. We'll put South Africa on there too. Just because they speak English. Some other first world nations. South Korea. I guess most of Europe. Italy. I'm not going to list them all. The EU. Brazil. Yeah. No. Hopefully they're maybe so, but other factors are I don't speak Brazilian. I don't speak Japanese. I don't speak Italian. Yeah, so screw all that stuff. Just the EU. Yeah, I'm not going to learn another language. So with the US, Canada, and EU or Europe or whatever you want to say, that'll do it. And then these other countries, English is becoming kind of the world language. An example of this is that whenever I was in the Army, I was stationed in Büdingen, Germany. One of the things that I did was I went to Neuschwanstein Castle, that is in Germany. It's the castle that Walt Disney based his after, that you always see all the time, with their little logo, and it's what that castle that he built there in Florida. He got his inspiration from Neuschwanstein Castle. I went there. They had 4 lines. One for English speaking, one for German, one for French speaking tourists, and then one for Japanese tourists. There wasn't one for Mexican speaking tourists or any Hispanic derivative thereof. Not Puerto Rican, Guatemala, Portuguese. There was none. And I did quite a bit of traveling. I could always find somebody who spoke English. But I had some friends in the military. Of course, I mean, it's America. From Texas, there were guys who were Mexican, spoke Mexican. They couldn't find anybody who spoke Mexican at all, anywhere that we went. English, yes. And of course, they spoke English. And part of that is that we went to Spain, for example, and it's like, well, I flat out asked him. I asked Chavez. It's like, I know what British people are saying now that we're here in Spain, because we went to Barcelona, we saw bullfights and went scuba diving in the Mediterranean and all that kind of crap. And I asked him, do you know what they're saying? Or is it just completely different? And he said, I understand some of it. So I guess it's changed some. I don't know how much. I didn't inquire too much. I just kind of asked, kind of generally, and he was like, some of it. So I don't know what that means specifically. So yeah, I think I'm going to focus in on English, and so on US, Canada, EU. So I guess that's not too big of a deal, because I fit that. So that'll help too. I'm a man. I'm in that age range, speaking English. I don't need this to be any more complicated than necessary. I'm not going to try to guess around as to what it is that women and children and senior citizens are about. That's just a waste of time. I should be able to fulfill my first objective right here with this demographics. But this does mean expanding what do I need to know about that? Do I want to get into religion? No, I guess not. I don't need to. So some questions to ask. Concerns in their life. So how can I help them? Because if I can give them something that'll be beneficial to them, then they should be able to pay a few bucks for that service in return. So family, friends, jobs, safety, health, income. Yeah. So yeah, I want to focus on men from those age ranges with disposable incomes from first world countries. Actually, I do want to focus on religious people. Religious? Yes. And it's because religious people are more charitable. That they will give money for causes, for example, as people who are not, they expect like the government to do it for some reason. I don't understand that at all. It's like, no, the government's not going to do it. The government doesn't do a good job with anything. They're horrible at it. The people who are on welfare have been on welfare. They don't ever get off of it. It's very rare whenever you see that. It's a failure. I don't know why we do that nonsense. It's not to say that people don't need help, but talk about a horrible system. So I have answers for a lot of this stuff. So instead of having a system that's set up for enabling, it should be a system set up for productivity. And part of the problem has been is that we haven't had the technology to be able to do that kind of a system, but we do have it today. And we have not changed accordingly to do that. Because the better they're doing, the better we're all doing. It's like if everybody was able to work and be productive and have a job, then that would mean obviously we pay less in taxes, and then it means that we could keep more money for ourselves. So then that way we could do more things in our own lives, and whenever we're able to do more things for us, that means that we can't do all this stuff by ourselves. So we have to go out and we have to buy equipment. We have to have the advice of experts and whatever, and so on and so forth. So. And that's what I would like. I would like people to be able to take care of themselves so that they can work on the things that they want to work on. Whenever my mom was dying of cancer, I didn't care if the person was black, white, young, old, straight, gay, or any of that stuff. If they had the cure, I wanted to know. And it's the same thing with all of this stuff. I want to know from the best people, and I don't care about these characteristics that they have no control over. I don't care about that stuff. And same thing with their stuff in their personal life. I do not care. Just give me the best, most accurate information that we can possibly get from the people who have figured this stuff out. Yep, so now I'm not saying that I'm limiting myself to just this right here. It's just for right now, this is what I'm going to focus on. I'm definitely going to incorporate every single person that I possibly can. And I'm just going to have to, though. In order for me to get here to the end, I'm going to have to. So then, what do my videos need to be about? Because I don't want to be making videos just about the news. So videos. What do I want from my videos? What do I need to focus on them? So those are my demographics of what it is that I want to focus on, starting off right now. So with the videos, I want videos that are going to focus in on men in that age group, disposable income, first world religious in general. So how do I get them to help me out? Because I need to offer them something in exchange. So I guess we can copy and paste this right here. And we'll but does this correlate to this? Because I need people, all people, to come and be a part of this. Information in general, that is too vague. That is like everything. Businesses is actually something I want to do really large in, but that is something that I cannot do immediately. So it would be later. All, yeah. News, political issues, just government in general. So government in general, we'll say political issues kind of really, that's just a repeat. So who's really all interested in news and the government in general? Really everybody. So it's, women and children, senior citizens are also involved in it. So it's not like I'm trying to exclude anyone. That's not what that's about. I have to do personal development. And this is something that I have to do for trust reasons. I have trust issues. And I do not believe or listen to people who I do not have any kind of trust or faith in. And so I have to show my personal development, I guess, to the world, because I need to build up trust with people. I don't want people to just blindly take my word for it. I want there to be proof, to be evidence. I want to be able to show it. And one of the ways that I can do it is by doing things like this. Having videos about what it is that's going on in my mind, my plans, just kind of what's going on now, how can I make things better for myself? Because if I can't even make things better for myself, how the hell am I going to make things better for everyone else? And I kind of know all this because I do have 2 channels on YouTube, Freedom of Expression and what's that other one called? Practical Focused Improvement, which I have not been doing at all. I've been really bad on that one. It's been more of news and government. I still have a bit of a hiccup of some things that I need to accomplish beforehand. So if I could just start off just doing one video of each a day to start off with, that should be fine. So I guess this video right now, this could be maybe under personal development. Here's the problem with that, is that my personal development channel gets like no attention at all whatsoever. But all this stuff with the news and the government, that gets attention. That's been going as good as I would expect it to be for somebody who's never done anything like this. I didn't copy. All right. Whatever. I don't even care. I'm not there. So whatever. Whatever. Okay, so we'll talk about this. We're just gonna focus it on one video. How do I make myself different from other content creators? Well, I want to focus in on lying, because I'm just fed up with it beyond belief. It can all go take a walk off a high cliff for all I care. It's something that Tim Pool does, though, isn't it? So that's not enough, because I'm not looking to be Tim Pool or anybody else. I want to offer data, facts, whatever you want to call it. Reoccurring. So fact sheet. So I've done this a little bit. I've created these text-rich word pads right here to have this information, so that I don't want it to be forgotten. I want to be able to refer to it each time that like racism comes up, or inflation, or whatever. And there's a lot of things. One of the other things that people don't do, though, that they should absolutely do, is create playlists. Here is a series on racism. I've started up my sheet for racism, and one of the first things that we need to get clear is the definition. Because I'm not going to play games and do straw man and misdirect and change the meanings to just fit whatever it is that I'm doing. No, I want to be consistent with that. But I don't want to go over the definition every single time that I make a video about racism, or whatever the topic may be. It's like, no, we already did that. And I also put the time and effort to create that video. It's a good video. You can go back, you can watch it, you can learn, and you can get caught up with the rest of us. I don't want that video to just fall to the wayside. I want people to continue to be able to refer back to it. So yeah, playlists. Over topics. Intro, outros. I don't know how that's supposed to be. Intros, outros. I don't know. I've never done this before, so that's probably wrong. Don't know, don't care. Anyways. That would be intro should be pretty easy. Asking for help. And what the video covers. Outro. I'm gonna say one T. Neither of them looks right. I don't know. Whatever. Maybe other things to do and getting caught up in lies and wasting time. No, screw all that crap. Screw all that crap. Screw all that together. Screw all that together. Well, intros and outros. No. How does this make me different from people like Ben Shapiro, Steven Crowder? I'm not going to be comical with it. I do want to be a professional. Professional in my dress or appearance. My work site, so like this behind. So it's like I've got this piano. I play like this much. It doesn't need to be there. I don't know where else to put it though. I don't care. It's got to go somewhere else. It doesn't need to be there. And all this stuff, I was thinking of moving it all down. So and this does need to be unique and specific to my goals. They need to be reminders as to what it is that I'm doing. And an example of that would be Dr. Steve Turley, because he writes books and he has that in his background. He has his books up on shelves and like a coffee mug of Emperor Trump, which is Trump's face is put on top of the Emperor from Warhammer 40K. It was funny whenever he did it. It's like, that's hilarious. So I need to create uniqueness so that there are no alternatives to me. Okay, that's great. Data sheets. I'm not going to write books, but I can have books behind me, such as that one book I was just talking about. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why is that wrong? What did I press? Studies, research. Can I have that up behind me? No, but it doesn't matter. This is stuff that is unique to me. Professionals such as Thomas. So Jordan Peterson. And yes, he is. You're not. You want to know why? Because how many books have you sold? Do you have your PhD in clinical psychology? Have you been a professor? Oh, you haven't? Yeah, neither have I. And I need somebody. And so I have trust built in up with him. Just because I have and you haven't, I don't care. You don't have to. But you should have somebody. Think of it just like a doctor. Many people have a family doctor, somebody that they go to whenever they get sick or whenever they get hurt. It's who they trust, that they built up a relationship, because they're not doctors. So they go to a doctor. This is the exact same thing. And it shouldn't be just a doctor. Okay, well, who do you have for whenever your car's messed up? Do you have a place that you go to with people who you know and you trust that they're not going to screw you over with your money and your time and make your car worse? Same thing with your computer, your electronics. Do you have somebody who you can go and you can turn to? What about diet and exercise? Well, why not your mental health too? Because there's plenty of nut crazy people out there, and you know what? That just doesn't magically fall out of the sky. It requires effort. And this is who I've chosen. And so on. So I guess I could have, like, I don't know about pictures of them, because I mean, how many people out there are professionals? You'd fill that up. But books, I guess having a few books would be okay. And maybe a picture or two of somebody. Website links. And so an example would be that Marin Tupi. One of them is bluezone.com. What was that? Tupi's humanprogress.org. CDC. Not the WHO, screw the World Health Organization. I don't know why the CDC. Pew Research. So if you can't tell, this is just kind of brainstorming that I'm doing right now with all that stuff. So. Let's move on. Personal development. Developing my knowledge. Nobody ever knows anything. My health. Always a good thing. Which we would say diet and exercise. Mental stability. Yeah, sure, why not? I've definitely got a little rage monster in me that can get out too easily at times. It's gotten better as I've gotten older, though. I guess testosterone levels going down would contribute to that. What are good friends? You know, what should they really be? Traditions. Customs. I think we're missing out on that. Traditions, customs, and culture. I think there's a lot of people who are kind of lost. That's why you see these weirdos who want to treat the government like it's some kind of religion. Like only the Democrats can do good. They're the only ones. Republicans are evil. It's like, you're an idiot. They're all people. Every last one of them. And they're all trash. But there are these idiots out there that just want to worship them like they're some kind of god. It's like, you're out of your mind, man. I don't know what you're talking about. But, you know, I think that kind of goes back to people who are looking for some kind of meaning and purpose to their life. So, yeah, oh yeah. Because, I mean, why not? Why not have something to do? What the hell's wrong with that? Not a damn thing, man. If you think there's something wrong with that, don't even bother talking to me, man. I'm not going to give you the time of day. I'm just going to block you and delete you and just do all that stuff. I'm not going to respond to you. That's pathetic. You can go be pathetic on your own time. I'm not going to deal with any of that. So it's like I like having good friends. What does family mean? I can give an example about that. All these stupid people who say, I'm always there for my children. You know, if they ever have any problems, they can come talk to me. How are they supposed to know what to talk about? If they're doing something wrong, how do they know? Children are not born and they say, hey, I need the keys to the car. I've got a job, an apartment, and I need to go and get busy getting on top of that stuff. No, it's goo goo gaga. They don't know how to talk. They don't know how to do anything. They're worthless. They just cry, eat, sleep, and poop. That's it. Nothing else. Just because they've gotten a few years older and they've learned how to speak doesn't mean that they're masters of everything. No, they're still idiots. They're so dumb. The right way that you do it, if you're a good parent that actually gives a damn about your children, is that you don't say, I'm here for my children whenever they have problems, because they don't know what problems are. What you do is you say, come here, child, and let us sit down and let us talk. Tell me about your day. And you start at the very beginning. What time did you get up? Were you ready to go? What did you have problems with? And you just go through their whole day. What happened at school? What was your first class? Who's that teacher? What did you learn? As much as you can possibly do. You know, and this is why people who have families, and they have good families, they spend time at home. And it should not be sitting there in front of the TV doing absolutely nothing. Watching TV is not it. You should be interacting with your friends and your family, with your loved ones. Because the closer that they are to you, the more important that they are, the more you should be having two-way conversations about the problems, these deep, intimate problems that you're having in your life, because you don't know everything, even as an adult. So, you should not expect that from yourself, and you sure as hell should not be expecting that from your children. And so you, as the parent, as the leader, as the adult, you should be taking charge over this and say, come here, let's talk, what's going on? And then you fill in the gaps as they arise. And when they do something wrong, you tell them, well, this is what's wrong, this is why it's wrong, and this is what you can do better for next time. It's not, well, I'm there for them. It's like, no, you're not. Because you're not doing anything with them. You're just passing off the buck. Just trash. Trash, trash, trash. So my hurdles, so financially, will that bring me in money if I do these things? So while I'm creating So an example of this is whenever somebody's trying to tell you that straight white men are horrible just because they're straight and they're white and they're men. It's like, no, they're not, because there are plenty of straight white men who are good, who are bad, or gay men who are good and bad, or black men who are good and bad, or whatever. It's like it has nothing to do with those things. Those are not characteristics to judge other people by. And so whenever you listen to that stuff, you are literally wasting your time. Because if you're just being lied to, oh yeah, if you go outside and you hop up and down on one leg, you'll have nothing but happiness. And you go out there and you hop up and down on one leg, and then nothing happens. You've wasted your time. So if you're told that every single straight white male is an evil person, then you've wasted your time, because you know what? There are some of them who are good, and what? That gay people or women are just automatically great, and then what? You get into some kind of relationship or friendship with someone who's gay and a woman, and they end up being completely horrible, because it's not about that. It's about their values and their morals and how they're living their life and the actions that they're actually doing. That's what you want to look at. So you just wasted your life, and you've made your life more difficult for nothing. List of factual proven sources that use member participation that looks wrong. I think member participation is going to be a big one. For some, I think for some people will really enjoy doing that. And it's because I don't care where the truth comes from. I don't care at all. You just have to prove it. You have to back it up. This isn't enough right here, I don't think, for having enough money. For having enough to be able... Am I going too far with this? Let's step back. So whenever we think of Steven Crowder, Tim Pool, and Ben Shapiro, they don't do any of this stuff. What do? They do commentary about the news and politics. But I want to be different. And I need people. I don't want people who just want to watch the news. I want people who will interact with the website. I guess exclusive content. Yeah, we could do that. Behind the scenes. I don't care too much about doing interviews with somebody like Jordan Peterson. I mean, maybe I guess I would. Because it would be nice to be able to get those people on board with what it is that I'm doing, and I think there are people out there. I think Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro would definitely be interested in being able to do this whenever I've built this up and I have something that's worth a damn. Because right now, I mean, why should he listen to me over anybody else? I haven't proven myself. It's like how many people come up to him with all kinds of weird stuff. It's like I saw one video where some guy got up there on stage and he was like, I need help. And it's like, what do you expect him to do? To stop with his speech that he's already given, with the hall that he's rented out to be able to speak before an audience and just come over there and give you special treatment? It's like, get out of here. You know, it's the same thing with me. Just because I come up there and it's like, oh, how privileged I must be to think that Jordan Peterson should, or whoever, should just stop everything that they're doing and just listen to me. I feel pretty strong about the demographics with the people. I feel pretty good about that. But I don't feel like I'm offering enough. I need something that's really going to stand out. Like, I want to help everyone. But sometimes whenever I say some of this, it sounds a little corny. That's not what kids say today, though. Cringe. Sounds a little cringy. It's like, whatever. It's like, yeah, I understand it because it's a big pill to swallow, I guess. It's like we want to be able to do that, but how many people promise all these things and it's like, no, it's just a scam. But that's where the personal development channel comes in. It's like, no, I am really not up to a damn thing other than what I'm saying. Tell you what, I will have my rage monster just erupt from within if I ever find out the cure of cancer was available whenever my mom was still alive. Oh, I don't know what I would do if I ever found that out. So just in case if you're wondering, whenever you're brainstorming, you don't worry about spelling and punctuation and all that stuff. You just get it out there, and then you refine it along the way. I don't know if they teach that in school anymore or not. What is something that I can offer that nobody else has? So I am not just viewed as some kind of news site. I want it to have this. I want it to show the end goal right here. Or at least, I guess it doesn't even have to be that. It could just be step 2. That this stuff can just go to step 2. I don't have to go all the way to the end right now. Okay, well then what would step 2 be? So I have, I guess step 1 would be getting everything, getting a good foundation, and step 2 could be expansion to the website being created. 4 could be those apps. I feel like I've got like 5 to 7 ideas, and that would really kind of help generate money. But I do need those to also have members behind me to help that out. I think the website is definitely going to have to come first. And then after that, free website access with limited use. Right here is whenever I want to start developing social connections. With specific communities. Conventions, for example, talks, meeting specific people, going on other shows. Just creating a website. Right then, basic, just the basic work, but then whenever I start hiring people, I want the website itself to be able to grow and develop people. Is that right? Opportunities. No, that's right, I guess. FYI, this stupid thing goes up to like 50. That's what I have in mind. It is because it's just one stupid thing leads to another. I don't know where it's going to end. Yeah, because right now I have to worry about having enough money to be able to provide for myself, for a home and food and car and paying utilities. Making this a little bit nicer, a little nicer equipment. I'm sure my computer is just subpar for this work that I'm doing. I was also thinking of doing GoFundMe, listing things to grow the business, and I was thinking I could kind of do that in my personal life, because I'm not interested in being materialistic. I just kind of I want to be able to get the things that that you need, and then a few things. I don't want to be a workaholic completely. I don't care. I don't care what people know. Doesn't matter. They're just trash people out there no matter what you do, and they can just get out of my face. I'm not going to have anything to do with them. I'm going to focus on the people who want to make things better. And they can take their lives and just shove them. And you can tell that by what people say and do. Because there are people who say all this crap and then they're just doing it to stir the pot. So it's like, no, you can take your mindless drivel, harsh, mean little platitudes and get deleted for all I care. And I know how to deal with that. I know how to deal with that. That'll happen with the membership stuff. Okay, so before the website, what will the membership participation be? I don't know. It's going to happen somewhere along there. Create a mission statement. Can't list all the goals because people are going to be like, you can't do all that. It's like, the hell I can. Why not? People do really big and amazing great things, and I had two clear thoughts, just two epiphanies, 2 times lightning struck me, or whatever you want to call it, and man, it just worked. And it just kind of keeps feeding off of itself. It's like, all right, this is really great, and so now I can do this. Oh, and now that I've done this, I can also do this because this, and 1 plus 1 equals 2 over here, and now that I have 2, well, I can still add 1, and so 2 plus 1 now equals 3, and so I can do this third thing, and this third thing now leads to something because it always stems back to this. I know that probably didn't make sense. I don't care that it made sense. You're just going to have to wait and be patient. I will let everyone know in due time. It'll take a while because I have to get myself to a point where nobody can screw this all up. I don't trust anyone other than myself at all. Just not at all. What is something that I can have but nobody else has? Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. What am I looking at? I'm looking at government and politics and all that. I am doing 2 parts. What's the other part? The personal development. What to do with your life. Meaning, who, what, when, where, why. Part of this that I want to do is that there's so much nonsense on with the news and politics and all that stuff, and so much hate because hate generates clicks and all this stuff. It's like, why don't you go out and do something productive with your life? Okay, well, that's easier said than done. Doing it's difficult. Yeah, it's dumb. What, I'm going to tell every single person? Yeah, whatever. Well, I don't have to. It could just be an outline. Just real general and vague, and then you fill in the dots. Just something to get you going. Yeah. Maybe I could do something like that. So that's what I want. I want everyone to have a successful life. My life has been trash. It's been garbage. And I don't want to read through 50,000 damn self-help books. I've read through some. And you know how much of it is just the same repeated garbage, just repackaged differently? It's like, oh, what a waste. I see it on videos all the time. And you can do that real easily. You can go on YouTube. Just type in something anything that you're interested about. There's all these videos. It's like, I don't need that. You know what I need? I need one. I need one good, accurate video that's got it all covered. It doesn't make any difference that, oh, well, this person is younger or older. No, it doesn't matter. Just give me the damn information. Give me the best, truthful, accurate, factual information that's there. See, this is the problem that I'm having. Is that this is nothing. This is just nothing with what it is that I want to do. And I got to focus in on all this. I got to cut some of this stuff out so I can just focus for a little bit. And whenever I start hiring people, like I really need to hire 2 to 4 people to help with content creation and website growth, to be able to put in the functions in the website so that people can start taking advantage of it, to making it into something that we need it to be. I don't want to hear the same tired arguments with all of these ideas again. I'm tired of the privileged and the wealthy getting to hoard all of these great ideas for themselves and then stomping all over the backs of other people. So like all this information with COVID, it's like it's been over a year. We know a hell of a lot more. We know enough by now where we should have a definitive answer about whether or not people should be wearing masks. And right now it looks like, no, we should not be wearing masks at all. That it was complete trash garbage. But a year, that is over a year. That is more than enough time that we should have an answer. And it should be clear, it should be obvious, and it should be all over the place. And now the CDC is just flat out saying, you don't have to wear a mask, especially if you've been vaccinated. And yet these places are still on lockdown. There are still some states that are, somebody is lying. There's an obvious liar out there. Both answers cannot be true because they contradict each other. It cannot be yes and no. It's either yes, we need to wear them, or no, we don't. And to me, from what I understand, it's a definitely, oh, hell, no, you don't. And we never needed to in the first place. And it's because it just doesn't affect anybody. It affects people who are old, people who have horrible health, that they just eat and they don't diet and exercise worth a damn, so that they're their health is just trash, or they have something else that's going on. They have some kind of illness. For everyone else, it's nothing at all. So, just fed up with it all. Nobody wants to do anything about it, so fine, I'll do it. Well, let's take a look at this. How long are we into this? An hour and 41 minutes. This is going to be a good place to stop. I've got some other things that I got to do. I can't be doing this all day long, so. And things to kind of relate to the growth of the business. I want to work on this a little bit. I have like a bunch of stupid information on my computer, for example, where it goes back a few years where it was stuff that I was working on my development and dealing with people just lying and abusing me and just kind of using me. That happens a lot. People say all these little platitudes so they get to abuse you. It's like some kind of sorrow, little pity party kind of thing, and you feel bad for them. And then you do something like you give them something and then they don't ever change. They've set their standards low. It's like, I don't want that. You're not going to waste my time with your nonsense. I'm going to do the only thing that I really can do, and that is work on me. I can't do anything for the rest of you. It's something that you have to decide to do for yourself. So I need to clean up my computer, and I'm going to work on this. And then I need to work on a schedule. So one of the things that I want to do is that on some of these days throughout the week, I need to look up information about intros and outros and kind of clean up my video content. So I was thinking, wait a minute. Yes, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, not video content creation, but getting info on expanding and improving my content, such as intro, outro, getting into podcasting, podcasting is a big one that I want to do. Sound, lighting, learning about editing, or in other words, OBS for right now. Better equipment. Sound, dampers. I know some of these are kind of repeats again. This is just brainstorming. Marketing, merch, what is that? Imagery? No, well, kind of, oh, now I've split it off into two things. Well, trademark. social networking. It's like one of the things that I might be able to do is go see Joe Rogan. So he lives in Texas now. Still, he would just... I'm sure he gets requests from people all the time. I would have to work my way up to that. But why not? People do get on his show. I don't see why I couldn't be one of them. Or other shows. I mean, not just him. I think marketing is a big one. Advertising. Marketing/advertising. Doesn't matter what kind of a mousetrap you have. If nobody knows how to get to it or knows that you exist, even if it's the world's best mousetrap, that's not enough. And then the horrible stuff. Learn more about Facebook, YouTube. Might do Instagram. Hell no to Twitter. I don't think I will ever do Twitter. I don't see Instagram supposedly is like a better place, and Twitter is just hell on earth. Oh, what is that one? Bitchute. Alright. I guess Patreon for right now. Subscribe Star. Which I actually have worked for some reason. Subscribe Star is... I have to do some kind of email thing to activate that. And I did it once, and they were like, "You did this wrong." And it's like, well, I don't have time for this right now. Your information that you had on it was vague, and they were like, "Send an email to here." Here where? They didn't ever say. I had to look around to find it, and it's like, you idiots. And then what was that other one? Rumble. I don't think I care too much about Rumble. Rumble is just, I don't know what it is. But I guess I should still look into it. Did I put podcasting? Yeah. So there's a lot to do. And then on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, what was I going to plan on doing? Oh, no, Tuesday and Thursday only. Oh, what were those 2 days going to be? Additional video. Alright. Simple or complex? I don't know. I don't know which one I want to do. Because whenever I do those little WordPad videos and I'm putting in that information, that's a lot. That's a lot of information to watch, to read, to go over, and then to put that all in there. And I don't care where it's coming from. I just care, is it accurate? It's like one of the things that I don't like about it is that I want to put, if there's an argument, if there's a debate over it, I want to put both sides on it. But there's not enough room for all that in this little narrow thing right here. So I don't know. But I got to do something. I got to start somewhere. So it's like maybe Tuesday and Thursday can be the complex videos where I have that, and then for those additional videos. But Monday, or I guess Sunday through Saturday, they can just be simple videos that I've kind of been doing the majority of my videos on. And then what? And then Sunday, I was thinking additional video for a practical focused improvement. But, Saturday, maybe just regular playing. In other words, having a little time off and just doing 2 videos only. So in that way I could have time for a few other things. Because I really want to do this every single day. Because just doing it, you really learn a lot. But you can't learn it just by yourself. I mean, I need to self-educate myself. They don't have classes in this, but that doesn't mean that there are people who've already learned this, and I can watch their videos and read their articles, so it should save me a little bit of time. Sounds nice, but it's really not that easy because, again, it's just chaos. It's just nonsense all over the place, and you're really kind of digging through the trenches and cutting through the weeds trying to get to the good stuff. It's like, yeah, spare me all this fluff novelization that you've got going on and just get on with it. Part of it is, too, is that, YouTube does that. Is that they really want your videos to be 10 minutes long, and sometimes you don't quite have 10 minutes worth of material, and it's just easy to just throw something out there to just kind of fill it in. I need to build a schedule, and I think what's good about that puts me on autopilot. Okay, well, at this time I'm supposed to do this, and at this time I do this, and supposedly this is like what all these incredibly insane productive people do, is that they have a schedule, and it's just like, I'm not going to think about it. I have other more important things to think about. I'm going to sit down like at the beginning of the week, and I'm going to plan out my schedule for the week, and then I'm just going to follow that. And I'll have some time where it is kind of open to do whatever, but there are other times whenever it's like, no, this is what I do at this time. I have to do this. So, for example, I've got to sit down at a certain time and start production on a video, and that's all I do, and I'm not going to worry about anything else, and everything else just gets a flat out no. And I see how that would absolutely help. All right. So I've got some other things that I got to go do. This is roughly a 2-hour video. I don't know what you thought of it. I don't care. I have to do this. I have to organize this. And so I can't do this and do a video. I can only do one thing or the other. I don't have a clone and can split it into two. So it's like, well, I wanted to give something, and it's like, well, why not? Why not go ahead and show this? So, and I thought I'd put on the shirt, do a little bit more of a professional thing. I don't know what I'm going to do with it exactly. I'm going to put on a tie, maybe go out and get a sports jacket. It's like, I wouldn't mind having one. I guess that'd be okay. Choke myself. I've lost 50 pounds, and so this is a new shirt. I think this is, I can't remember. This is a large or a medium shirt. I can't remember the last time I wore a medium shirt, but I have some medium shirts, so it's pretty cool. It's like, I like it. A lot of my health issues that I had were gone. I was having pains in all my joints, and I lost the weight, and I was waking up like every morning with a new pain somewhere, and it'd last for about a day, and wake up the next day and it'd be gone, but there'd be a new one to take its place somewhere else. But now that I've lost the weight, it's gone, and I wasn't having these issues until I got older. I guess it started to happen a little bit in my mid to late 30s is whenever it kind of started happening, but I mean, I had like 50 extra pounds. So imagine if you just went out and got a 50-pound weight and you were just lugging that around all day, every day. It's like, yeah, of course it's going to have an effect. So yeah, you get a little bit of insight of what it is that I'm going to work on here. I'm going to try to clean all this stuff up, have it a little more structured so it's easier for you to be able to consume the information and what it is that I'm doing. I hope this made sense to you. And please, give me a thumbs up, help me out, subscribe, become a member. I've got Patreon, Subscribe Star, because they're still there. Even though I haven't done that email thing with Subscribe Star, you should still be able to go ahead and to donate with it, and that's something else that I need to flesh out a little bit better. But that won't happen for a while. It's because I have to do the content first, and that'll come like step 3 or 4, or I guess step 1, but it'll be like not A or B, but it'll be like C or D or something like that. It's a little ways off, but I should be able to get that in this first little bit, because I need that membership thing to kind of go. I keep hearing how that's a really effective tool for helping content creators. So anyways, thanks a lot for watching, and we'll catch you later. Bye.